Welcome to Proverbs 14 and our proverb of the day for the 14th of the month. Verse 1. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. He who walks in his uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. In the mouth of a fool is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise will preserve them. Where no oxen are, the trough is clean, but much increase comes by the strength of an ox. Now we're reading this in the Life Application Study Bible, so there's Life Application notes. So we're going to read the note on that verse. 14:4. When a farmer has no oxen for plowing, his food trough for the animals will be empty. The only way to keep your life free of people problems is to keep it free of other people. But if your life is empty of people, it is useless, and if you live only for yourself, your life loses its meaning. Instead of avoiding people, we should serve others, share the faith, and work for justice. Is your life clean but empty? Or does it give evidence of your serving God wholeheartedly? Interesting. Verse 5. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and does not find it, but knowledge is easy to him who understands. The note on that verse 6. We all know mockers, people who scoff at every word of instruction or advice. They never find wisdom because they don't seek it seriously. Wisdom comes easily to those who pay attention to experienced people and to God. If the wisdom you need does not come easily to you, perhaps your attitude is the barrier. Perhaps your attitude is the barrier? Wow. Maybe. Alright, we'll just go on to verse 7. Go from the presence of a foolish man when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools mock at sin, but among the upright there is favor. The note on verse 9. How rarely we find favor, goodwill around us today. Angry drivers scowl at each other in the streets. People fight to be first in line. Disgruntled employers and employees both demand their rights. But the common bond of God's people should be goodwill. Those with goodwill think the best of others and assume that others have good motives and intend to do what is right. When someone crosses you and you feel your blood pressure rising, ask yourself, how can I show favor to this person? Verse 10. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share its joy. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. And the note on verse 12. The way that seems right may offer many options and require few sacrifices. Easy choices, however, should make us take a second look. Is this solution attractive because it allows me to be lazy? Because it doesn't ask me to change my lifestyle? Because it requires no moral restraints? The right choice often requires hard work and self-sacrifice. Don't be enticed by apparent shortcuts that seem right but end in death. Verse 13. Even in laughter the heart may sorrow, and the end of mirth may be grief. 14. The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above. A note on 14. When God slips from first place in our lives, everything else loses its meaning. Life seems to be no more than the tiresome process of making money to spend on food, clothing, and shelter, just getting through the day so we can do the same thing tomorrow. But when God has first priority, life becomes an adventure. Even our routine projects take on meaning and promise because they hold a greater purpose. If you are filled with your own ways and bored with life, check your relationship with God. Your boredom could be a signal that you are sliding away from Him. Verse 15. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages and is self-confident. A quick-tempered man acts foolishly, and a man of wicked intentions is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil will bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor man is hated even by his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins, but he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not go astray who devise evil? But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. Verse 23. In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. In the fear of the Lord there is a strong confidence, and his children have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is a king's honor, but in the lack of people is the downfall of a prince. He who is slow to wrath has great understanding, but he who is impulsive exalts folly. The note on verse 29. Anger, wrath, can be like a fire out of control. It can burn us and everything else in its path. Anger divides people. It pushes us into hasty decisions that only cause bitterness and guilt. Yet anger in itself is not wrong. Anger can be a legitimate reaction to injustice and sin. When you feel yourself getting angry, look for the cause. Are you reacting to an evil situation, or are you that you are going to set right? Are you reacting to an evil situation that you're going to set right, or are you responding selfishly to a personal insult? Pray that God will help you control your quick temper, channeling your feelings into effective action and conquering selfish anger through humility and repentance. Verse 30. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he who honors him has mercy on the needy. The wicked is banished in his wickedness, but the righteous has a refuge in his death. Well, there was a note on verse 31. Let's read verse 31 again. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he who honors him has mercy on the needy. God has a special concern for the poor. He insists that people who have material goods should be generous with those who are needy. Providing for the poor is not just a suggestion in the Bible, it is a command that may require a change of attitude. To see more on that, you can see Leviticus 23:22, Deuteronomy 15:7 and 8, Psalms 113:5 through 9, Psalms 146:5 through 9, Isaiah 58:7, 2 Corinthians 9, chapter 9, verse 9, and James 2, verses 1 through 9. Okay, verse 32, the wicked is banished in his wickedness, but the righteous has a refuge in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of him who has understanding, but what is in the heart of fools is made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him who causes shame. That was chapter 14 of Proverbs, for the proverb of the day, for the 14th of the month. Thank you for joining us for some godly wisdom, and may you be blessed today.